Yeah, my wonderful people, viewers and subscribers. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Happy Sunday and happy the 15th day in the month of June in the year of 2025. And my people, I just want to make it clear this early stage that the headline of this message might be controversial. Reason, because I want everybody to see these messages. A lot of headlines here. I want us to look into it, and as you are watching, as you are looking into it, as you are hearing it, please help me drop your opinion in the comment section. One of the headlines I want us to treat this morning is this one that says that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's trial have been moved to DSS headquarters. What the hell is happening? Let me not use the F word, but what the hell is happening in Nnamdi Kanu's case? Where we have ex-AGF, Attorney General of the Federation, by name Kanu Agabi, SAN. They will allow all these impunities to be happening. But let me pause it here. Let me read other headlines so that you know what to expect as we move forward. Another one here is that Donald J. Trump administration is considering adding Nigeria, the contraction called Nigeria, to 35 other countries that is going to face travel ban moving forward. They are going to face travel ban. The giant of Africa in terrorism and in corruption. Now, countries like US now is bouncing them. Okay, another headline here is that releasing Nnamdi Kanu on bail. Give us an state. Senator tells federal government. Before I move to another headline we have here, let me quickly treat this matter and say it the way it is. This so-called lawmaker, this stupid buffalo, call himself Senator Oster is now so. These are the people who have already brought the bill at the National Assembly, and the Northerners helped them to pass it, the first reading, second reading, and third reading, and the final reading. That nothing whatsoever that will make Nigerian government to use a political solution to Nnamdi Kanu's case. Now, these same people who signed, or rather who brought that bill, signed it, and passed it into law, is now coming out to tell us he wants Nnamdi Kanu to be released on bail. What happens to the existing bail, or what has happened to the existing discharged and acquitted from the so-called zoo second highest court, which is a appeal court? What happened to it? That is the question. These idiots need to answer for the Biafrans. When they need something, then they will come out and call Biafra, Nnamdi Kanu. Then when they get it, all of them will go back home sleeping. Who is hearing about Ejina Abaribe again? That one, in fact, it is closed case. What about the so-called Benjamin Nakalo, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's kinsman, who told us that they don't need to make how they are working Nnamdi Kanu released to the public? And yet, Nnamdi Kanu is appearing on series of court, from DSS to High Court, from High Court back to DSS, from High Court now into secret trial in DSS headquarters. Who does that? Anyway, let us continue. Notorious bandit leader meets police, military, reviews condition for peace. Nnamdi Kanu was arrested without any single, not even razor blade, and they charge him for terrorism. Now, terrorist leader by name Alieru appeared. If you see where they're having the meetings, my brother, there's no any kind of sophisticated weapons these idiots, these terrorists are not carrying. But do you know the most funny part of it? Military, police, NSCDC, Air Force, Land Force, all the whole security personnel including the last phase of it, which is the Brigadier of Guards that is guarding the president. All of them were present. I mean, yeah, that was guarding the president. All of them were present at that meeting with their chakatum. Why the terrorists are carrying sophisticated weapons? The question then is, who supplied these people these weapons? The answer is Nigerian government. Nigeria, as we all know, is a terrorist state. Please, if you get this video as a Biafran, or you see yourself as a one Nigeria, that one is up to you. Comment at the comment section of this video. Hashtag Nigeria is a terrorist country. That is the only thing that will save you as a living being watching me or hearing my voice. If not, your own destruction will come like a plague. May Nigeria never happen to you. That shall be your prayer point from this day onwards. As long as this life is concerned, a Biafran, as an Igbo man, as a Southeasterner, as a Southerner, as the old Eastern region, let your prayer point be, may Nigeria never happen to me and my family. Saying this, my brother and my sister, you will be saved by the grace of God. If not, okay, bandits now give condition to so-called democratically government and also a constituted military personnel, and all of them were busy there. Tomorrow now, when this guy gone now, they will come back now and tell you, we have declared him wanted, 5 million naira bounty on his head. Tomorrow, you will hear them now call a meeting with these idiots. Last year, defense minister, the chief of defense minister, Kisowa Musa, told us that Bello Tunji is as good as dead. He's hiding inside a cave. And that was why they never captured him. After he made that statement, 1 week, 2 weeks later, everybody, Nigeria, all of them have forgotten about it. Nobody's asking about Bello Tunji again. Nobody even asking Kisowa Musa, what efforts are you making to arrest Bello Tunji, who is levying all the whole cities, all the whole villages in Zamfara, in Sokoto, in Katsina, in Kebbi State, levying them 60 to 70 million naira monthly before they can go to their farm. The so-called Nigerianists, or whatever they call them, have one problem. And that problem is that their fast retentive memory have been wiped away by hunger, starvation, and bad governance. That nobody remembers anything again. Once it happens, they will find another thing that is trending to cover what the evil they have did. Nobody is talking about Bello Tunji again. Even Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, everybody now is focused on attention on Mazi Nnamdi Kanu as a terrorist. A witness appear in the court. Who is Mazi Nnamdi Kanu? Is IPOB leader. How do you describe him? He's a terrorist. But look at terrorists with sophisticated weapons. When they went to Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's compound, how many guns were received there? Not even a single penknife, if not their kitchen knife in their kitchen, was found on Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's house. But still yet, they labeled him a terrorist. And you want me to keep silent? Why all these impunities are happening? God forbid. God forbid bad thing. Kanu trial court move president to DSS headquarters. Anyway, let us continue our news from here. Justice James Omotoso has granted an order moving proceedings from the court to the headquarters of the DSS facility in Abuja. The move, which is temporary, is to allow for the inspection of the shipping container used by Kanu to allegedly smuggle a radio transmitter into the country, which he uses for broadcast on Biafra radio or on Radio Biafra. Donald J. Trump considered adding ZØØGÈRÍÀ and 35 other countries to travel ban list. The United States of America is considering restricting entry to citizens of an additional 36 states in what will be a significant expansion of travel ban announced by Donald Trump administration early this month. According to a State Department memo reviewed by the Washington Post, among the new list of countries that could face visa bans or other restrictions are 25 African nations, including significant U.S. partners such as Egypt and Djibouti. plus countries in the Caribbean, Central Asia, and several Pacific island nations. A State Department spokesman or spokesperson said the agency would not comment on internal deliberations or communications. The White House did not immediately respond to a request for comment. Such a move would mark another escalation in the Trump administration's aggressive crackdown on immigration. Follow live updates on Trump administration. We are tracking Trump's progress on campaign promises and legal challenges to his executive orders and actions. The memo, which was signed by Secretary of State Marco Rubio and sent Saturday to U.S. diplomats who work with the countries, said the governments of listed nations have been given 60 days to meet new benchmarks and requirements established by the State Department. It is a deadline of 8 a.m. Wednesday for them to provide an initial action plan for meeting the requirements. The memo identified varied benchmarks that, in the administration's estimation, these countries were failing to meet. Some countries had no competent or cooperative central government authority to produce reliable identity documents or other civil documents. Or they suffer from widespread government fraud. Others had large numbers of citizens who overstayed their visas in the United States, the memo said. Other reasons included the availability of citizenship by monetary investment without a requirement of residency and claims of anti-statistic anti-Semitic and anti-American activity in the United States by people from those countries. The memo also stated that if a country was willing to accept third country nationals who were removed from the U.S. or enter a safe third country agreement, it could mitigate other concerns. It was immediately clear when the proposed travel restrictions would be enforced if the demands were not made. The countries facing scrutiny in the memo is Angola, Antigua and Barbuda, Benin Republic, Bhutan, Burkina Faso, Cape Verde, Cambodia, Cameroon, Democratic Republic of Congo, Djibouti, Dominica, Ethiopia, Egypt, Gabon, Gambia, Ghana, Ivory Coast, Kyrgyzstan, Liberia, Malawi, Mauritania, Niger Republic, Nigeria, St. Kitts and Nevis, St. Lucia, Sao Tome and Principe, Senegal, South Sudan, Syria, Tanzania, Tonga, Tuvalu, Uganda, Vanuatu, Zambia, and Zimbabwe. The list represents a significant expansion of a presidential proclamation issued June 4, when the United States fully restricted the entry of individuals from Afghanistan, Myanmar, Chad, Republic of Congo, Equatorial Guinea, Eritrea, Haiti, Iran, Libya, Somalia, Sudan, and Yemen. The United States also had partially restricted the entry of travelers from Burundi, Cuba, Laos, Sierra Leone, Togo, Turkmenistan, and Venezuela under that order. Democrats and other critics of the Trump administration have described its efforts to issue blanket travel bans on selected nations as xenophobic and bigoted, pointing to President Donald Trump's efforts to block travel from Muslim-majority nations in his first term and the high number of African and Caribbean nations targeted during this time. Early in his first term, Trump attempted to restrict travel from Iran, Iraq, Syria, Somalia, Sudan, Yemen, and Libya. The initial version of the ban caused confusion and chaos at airports. It faced numerous legal challenges until the Supreme Court upheld the third version of it in June of 2018. While the travel ban was rekindled under the Biden's administration, Trump repeatedly pledged to reinstate it on the campaign trail, stating it will be bigger than before. On Inauguration Day, the White House issued an executive order calling on U.S. agencies, including the State Department, to look for countries throughout the world for which vetting and screening information is so deficient as to warrant a partial or full suspension on the admissions of nationals from those countries. Moving forward, releasing Nnamdi Kanu on bail and give us an estate. Osita is in Aso. The lawmaker representing Imo West in the upper chamber of the National Assembly, Senator Osita is in Aso, has called on the Fulani government to release the embattled leader of indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB, Nnamdi Kanu, on bail. He claimed that if Kanu is released on bail, it will reduce violence in the southeast and criminal elements who have hijacked his struggle while lose their legitimacy and can get arrested if they perpetrate any violent activities after that. Nigeria News reports Senator Nassau made a recommendation at a media parley in Abuja on Friday to mark his 2 years in the Senate. He said, I have consistently advocated that the federal government give Nnamdi Kanu's case political consideration. If granted bail, it could significantly reduce insecurity in the region. Criminal elements have hijacked the struggle. Once Kanu is released, they will lose any legitimacy, he claimed. He also argued that the bail and the dialogue may not solve the situation completely, but will de-escalate tensions in the region. I'm not saying it will stop the violence 100%, but it will go a long way. Once the real struggle ends, any further violence becomes purely criminal, he added. Anim State, also during the parley, it also disclosed that a bill for the creation of Anim State in the southeast geopolitical zone is currently before the Senate. He said the bill, which recommends that the new states be carved out of Anambra and Imo, has passed second reading and is now before the Committee on Constitution Review. The lawmaker argued that the demand for the new state is a matter of equity because other geopolitical zones have more states than the southeast. It is not a favor, it is a matter of equity. Every other region in the country has 6 states, except the southeast, which has only 5. We are not asking for too much, just what the federal character principle demands, he said. The senator said the creation of an state will follow due democratic process. Last but not the least, notorious bandit leader meets police military reviews condition for peace. A notorious bandit leader, Ado Alieru, has issued a chilling warning to Nigerian authorities and society, stating that continual labeling of his group as terrorists will only sustain the violence ravaging communities in the northwest. Alieru, who is wanted by security agencies, made a declaration during a peace dialogue season held in Damusa local government area of Katsina State, where he spoke on behalf of his group. As long as we are still called terrorists, then do not expect us to stop behaving like terrorists, he warned bluntly. Defending the actions of his armed group, Alieru claimed many young men were driven into banditry by years of neglect, injustice, and unresolved grievances. He said their decision to take up arms was not born out of hatred, but survival. Our parents are not happy with what we are doing. and even we do not truly want this life in our hearts. He said, we would prefer to return to the way things were, where there was a mutual respect between farmers and herders, and security personnel stuck to their duties without bias. He stressed that peace could only be achieved if the government authorities and public stop stigmatizing them, adding that mutual respect and honest engagement were the keys to restoring trust. Ali called for genuine reconciliation and reintegration, insisting that derogatory labels only deepens mistrust and hostility. The dialogue season in Damusa is part of ongoing peace-building initiatives between Nigeria's agencies, local authorities, and armed groups in an effort to curb persistent violence in the region. Traditional rulers, community leaders, and government officials are said to be intensifying efforts to secure lasting peace in the Northwest, a region long plagued by deadly clashes between armed groups and security forces. Wahala Otikboje. Anyway, my wonderful people, now here we will take back break. And I go hear my voice again when I come back. Like, share, comment, and make sure you keep subscribing for more interesting videos. Get me, my people.